natural centre back, maybe playing out of position, and in your position that you're very good in, then of course that maybe adds to that level of frustration.
No, I can understand why he says he's not satisfied at the moment, but he's still going to have a big part to play this season, not just in the Europa League, but in the Premier League as well.
Ben White has been fantastic this season, and it's going to take a lot to drop him, but is it just a case of keep working hard?
皆さんこんにちは。冨安選手の久しぶりの動画になりますが、今日この動画を投稿する理由としては、冨安選手は、日本代表を離脱し、クラブ事情によりアーセナルに再合流することになりました。で、このニュースが出る前に冨安選手はインタビューを受けて、アーセナルでの不満について話しました。あまり出番がないということには、すごく不満に思っているということを、そのインタビューで話していました。その冨安選手のインタビューについて多くのアーセナルサポーターが反応したので、こちらが、その動画になります。
And of course, Takeo Tomiyasu struggled with game time this season and come out in the media and said he's not satisfied with the situation at Arsenal this season. I'm sure you've seen the comments, Chris. It'd be interesting just to get your thoughts on what he said.
Yeah, well, I think this is a normal reaction for a player that has perhaps been left a little bit disappointed with a lack of game time this season. That's understandable. And I think with Tomiyasu, you've got all of the injury setbacks on top of that as well. That's probably added to his disappointment and his frustration. So, I mean, I'm not, too concerned about those quotes. I know some fans can look at it and be like, oh, he's obviously a bit angry or maybe a bit unsettled. But I don't think it's like that with Tomiyasu. I think he's a great player who's got a great mentality. And look, I think when you've got a natural centre back, maybe playing out of position, and in your position that you're very good in, then of course that maybe adds to that level of frustration and disappointment. But you've also got to hand Ben White plenty of credit because he has done really, really well in that right fullback position. So look, I think if anything, it will make Tomiyasu stronger because, like I said, he's a great player. He's got an elite mentality. We know Tomiyasu as well, which another thing that will go in his favour, of course, in terms of getting back into the team is his versatility. He can play as a centre back. He can play as a left back as well. We know he's really, really good with both feet. So I'm sure he'll get his chance again really soon. And no doubt he'll put in some really, really good performances that we all know we can usually associate with.
Not satisfied. I think it's more his himself rather than Mikel Arteta not picking him. You mentioned there the injuries. What do you think Tomiyasu needs to do to get back into side? Because as you mentioned, Ben White has been fantastic this season, and it's going to take a lot to drop him. But is it just a case of keep working hard?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, and that goes for every single player, doesn't it, Alfie? It's about healthy competition, and ensuring that instead of both players sort of pushing each other away and annoying each other, it's about both players actually making each other better. And for Tomiyasu, like I say, he just needs to keep his head down, keep working hard and training, and he'll get his chances because he's a top quality player.
Japan versus USA. So Tomiyasu versus Turner yesterday. Japan coming out on top on that one. USA looking at all sorts of trouble ahead of the World Cup as well, which doesn't bode well for England versus USA. I don't think that's going to be much of a spectacle at the World Cup, given the form both teams are in. But Turner had a good game actually. He was man of the match. It was the only good things to come out of it from the USA. He was, I think he made 6 saves. Could have been a far worse defeat for USA. And so fair play to Japan. Commiserations to USA. Tomiyasu was actually speaking about his kind of future and how things have been going for him at Arsenal in the build-up to that game. And he said a couple of interesting things. He said, look, what's required in this league is quite high and I'm not satisfied. When you look at the players selected as starters in Premier League games, you'll understand what it's required to be there. I will work hard in order to get my position back. I don't think Tomiyasu has done anything wrong, to be honest, to lose his place. I just think he was obviously injured a lot towards the end of last season, couldn't stay fit, missed a lot of pre-season. I think he missed all of pre-season, in fact, and Ben White just filled in there and he started the season really well at right back, and so it's a case of not changing a winning team for Mikel Arteta. So I don't think Tomiyasu is out of the side because of performances or anything like that. I think it's purely because of his injury, and then Ben White stepped up and Mikel Arteta just doesn't want to change things. I mean, Tomiyasu still been used in every single game, I think, this season. I wouldn't be surprised at some point this season that he comes back into the starting lineup and becomes first choice right back again. I still think Tomiyasu's a fantastic player, and I know I can understand why he says he's not satisfied at the moment, but he's still going to have a big part to play this season, not just in the Europa League, but in the Premier League as well.
ではこちらが今回の動画になりました。特にアーセナルサポーターの間では、冨安のインタビューが、すごく話題になっていました。彼がチームから離れたいというか、移籍したいというところまでは言ってないんですけど、出番がないことに関してすごく不満に思っていることは、アーセナルサポーターは、もちろんアーセナルサポーターは、冨安選手のインタビューを聞いた後に彼への不満を、感じることになりました。で、皆さんは、どのように思いますか？で、アーセナルの現地サポーターは、それほど心配はしていなくて、努力すれば、そして一生懸命練習に取り組めば、またスタメンを取り戻すことができるというように話していましたが、皆さんはどのように思いましたか？どのように、冨安選手のインタビューを捉えたのか、コメント欄に、意見を教えてください。おそらく、ワールドカップの前なので、自分のベストなフォームまで持っていくためには、そのコンディションをどんどん上げていくためには、出場の機会が必要だと、冨安選手は思っているだろうし、これからあとは1ヶ月ちょいしかないので、ワールドカップの開幕戦まで。なので、ちょっとしたその焦りというか、そういう部分もあって、冨安選手はインタビューでああいう答えを出したのではないかと、個人的には思います。で、これからはそのベン・ホワイトが、ずっと活躍しているので、冨安選手は練習で一生懸命取り組んで十分なのかどうかというのを、アーセナル現地サポーターも聞いていましたが、個人的にはその練習でどんなに頑張っても正直ベン・ホワイトが怪我しなければ、または、パフォーマンスが落ちる、チームとしてのパフォーマンスが落ちない限り、おそらく冨安選手の出番が来るのはちょっと難しいのではないかと思います。ただし、以前の動画でも話したように、アーセナルのスケジュールはすごいパンパンというか、週に2回は試合があるので、必ずその彼がプレーすることも多いと思うし、EL だけではなくてたまにはプレミアリーグ出場の機会が与えられるのではないかと思いますが、ただそれが下位のチーム相手になるのではないかと、個人的に思います。何度も言いますが、怪我の状況とかパフォーマンスが落ちることによって、ベン・ホワイトのパフォーマンスが落ちれば、もちろん冨安選手の出番もあるだろうけど、ただ今考えるとちょっと厳しいのではないかと思います。なので、このままおそらくトッテナム戦のダービーでもベン・ホワイトがライトバックで起用されると思います。また250ライクでトッテナム戦のプレビュー動画も投稿しますので、多くのライクをお願いいたします。そしていつも本当にご視聴ありがとうございます。チャンネル登録と、通知をオンにしていただければ、新しい動画がアップロードされるたびに通知が届きます。